Hey everyone, I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. We are thrilled to announce that our latest game, Saros, is launching next year on PS5 and enhanced for PS5 Pro. Saros is the ultimate evolution of the Housemarque gameplay-first experience. It's a new single-player IP that builds on Returnal's award-winning third-person action. You play Arjun Devraj, performed by the brilliant Rahul Kohli. Arjun is a powerful enforcer searching for answers on a hostile shape-shifting planet haunted by an ominous eclipse. All of us at Housemarque can't wait to share more about Saros, with our first look at gameplay coming later this year. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Between the Joysticks. Press start and then we're off. Nick and John, they've got the sauce. Breaking news and some hot takes. Even if there's some mistakes, Nick is captaining the ship, while John gives thoughts straight from the hip. But when their powers combine, we're all in for a hell of a time. Between the Joysticks, it's the best. Up to 6 things they will address. Tell all your friends and settle in. Between the Joysticks now begins.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 130 of the video game podcast Between the Joysticks. But this is going to be a PlayStation Pals edition, as we are going to be covering the February 2025 State of Play from Sony. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by my co-host, John.
Hi.
Hi, John.
Hi.
We got a lot to get to. Do you just want to get into it, or do you have something to say?
Well, I know we got a couple things to talk about. I mean, I just want to let the listeners know that, if Nick passes out or if I start burping or something, we did just get done doing the Hot Ones challenge, so I'm feeling good. I've done it in the past, but,
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Nick, no, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, if I have to run out of here because I got to go use the bathroom.
Your butt's on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let the listeners know.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it, though? Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
No.
I thought I'd be like, oh, God, I'm
Right.
fearing number 10. but-
45 minutes after the fact, you're
Right.
curled in the corner,
Right.
clutching your stomach. No, not that bad.
It's very fun. I encourage, if you like spicy things, to give it a shot.
Please.
I guess I do have something to say. I listened to our show.
This is the final episode,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm sorry.
I re-listened to our show, and I apologize for last week. I must have mixed Yo Tai and Yo Tay 6 billion times.
Oh, you do it all the time. Don't apologize for that.
Well, I'm making a mental note right now that from now on it's Yo Tay. Yo Tay.
I don't get it though, because Yo Tai rolls off the mouth so much easier than Yo Tay does. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know
Yo-tay.
either. But even you corrected me toward the end of the episode, and I did it again. It's just, I'm sorry, people.
Yeah.
And I'm disrespecting the game that I'm very hyped for.
Nick, we accept you for who you are
All right.
and how you are, as wrong as it may be sometimes.
All right. So this is going to be a special edition of the episode. We're only going to be talking about one news item and then the entire state of play. So no 6 things a day. But I do want to let our listeners know, if you want to be read on this show, please email in betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. DM us on Twitter, JoysticksPod there, or comment on our YouTube page at Between the Joysticks. John is looking for his first negative comment. You could be the one.
Could it be you?
All right. So we have a quick news item. A week ago from today that we're recording, February 7th, PlayStation Network went down. And for 24 hours, you were not able to look at trophies, go on any online games, pretty much do anything.
Except one big thing.
What's that?
You can buy games still
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, you can still buy games. They might not be able to check in to get their license, but you can buy them. And so, the PlayStation Network, everyone was a little weary because of the PSN Network outage of, remember what year that was?
Oh, God, I was in college. I'm going to say...
SOCOM was out?
It was 2010 or 2011.
Yeah. And where it was out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2010.
Because
2010.
Sony, they were pretty silent during the whole thing, but then it came back Saturday night. And as an apology, we're sorry. Everyone's getting an additional 5 days added to their PlayStation Plus subscription. What do you think of that, John? Were you playing games that night? Were you affected at all?
No, I did. Well, yes, I guess I was, but not from a game standpoint. I was cleaning up my house as I do many times over the course of a day because of my children. So I usually turn on some music, and I went to turn on Spotify, and it wouldn't connect to anything, and so thought that was weird, and then went on Reddit and saw all the outages, and then I go, no, okay, and then I listened to music on my phone.
Okay.
That's about as impacted as I got.
Yeah, I was just same way. I mean, I'm trying to get off Marvel Rivals. What a great way to make it so I don't have to play. And I was playing High on Life instead, and that was fine. You know, it wasn't really impactful to me. But I did feel bad. I mean, gaming time is limited. As we all know, John repeats every episode that if you were planning on playing a game that required any kind of online connection, you know, Path of Exile, Marvel Rivals, Fortnite, whatever game, not having access to it during your gaming time, I'm sure it was a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that you don't expect this to ever happen. We pay for it. We pay for a service. You expect that service to work. But at the same time, like, at least they got it up in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, a day is, with these type of things, a day is a good chunk of time. Like, it's not, it's not a couple minutes, a couple hours even, but a day starts to get on people's nerves. And I think what I wish I'd see more of in the future when this type of stuff does happen, because I'm also not naive enough to think that this won't ever happen again, is just technology. Technology breaks. I understand why companies don't communicate during these things, because you don't want to make false promises. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. But as people who have gone through and it was in 2011, it was April 20th to May 14th, 2011. So a 24-day outage, that is always going to creep into our heads. And so, figuring out some way to communicate with everybody that, like, hey guys, like, we're aware it's not going to be weeks on end. Right. I don't know how you do that effectively without causing.
I think you just acknowledge you're working on it. Or maybe you just, you under-promise. You go, oh, man, this is really bad. It's going to take a month to fix. And then you fix it in a day, and you're like, oh, yay!
No.
Oh.
A month, can you imagine? It's going to be broken for 6 months. All right.
I'm obviously joking there.
Yeah, of course.
But, to your point, just communication is key.
But yeah, what I think, is the people who don't have their console set as primary, like, that's something, if you were one of these people that don't have that, I could see this getting under your skin, because then nothing will work. But you're also probably doing something in not a shady way, but like you're taking advantage of like somebody else's library, and that's all good. But there's not a lot of situations out there that a day would really warrant like any type of robust response from me or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm also
how reasonable.
Yeah, but I am the anti-multiplayer guy. So
fair enough.
Yeah, so glad it's up, though. Glad it's back up.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's get into that state of play. As you heard last week on this very show, we were at a DEF CON 1 for a state of play announcement. And sure enough, on February 11th, we learned that there was going to be a state of play on February 12th. So just as we always predict here, we're smart here.
We know things.
You would not have any time to react to it. It comes and it goes. So it came.
And it went.
Over 30 games were shown. It was about a 40-minute presentation, and we're going to go through those announcements to talk about them and to see how well we did on our predictions. But let's bird's eye view it, John.
Mm-hmm.
You were in a unique situation. You did not watch it live. You came to it after the fact.
Yes.
And I believe I set the stage for you, so we know my thoughts on it. But what did you think overall? Bird's big picture.
Yeah. So I just went down the Reddit rabbit hole of just trailer after trailer after trailer. I didn't watch the official cadence of the show or how it was curated or anything like that. But, I thought it was a middle-of-the-road kind of show. And on the sense that there weren't a ton of big things announced. I think there's always an expectation that you're going to get that one thing, and that one thing seemed to be the Ghost of Yote release date. And I think there's a decent amount of people that are upset that wasn't there.
Me.
Yep, that's fair, and that's a fair thing to feel. But we also did get a brand new IP from a Sony first-party team Granted, we didn't see any gameplay from it, but we now know what Housemarque is working on next. And I think that's exceptionally exciting. I mean, the inclusion of a brand new announcement from a first-party team automatically, to me at least, brings it up to a C at the start. And so that was really cool to see. And then I think that the games that they did show, while not being existing IP or things that you're going to be maybe immediately excited about, I thought they all looked pretty good. Tides of Annihilation, is definitely going to fit right in that Stellar Blade, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta camp with, your attractive protagonist and cool hack and slash moves. So, seeing another project coming from China is cool. Even that MindsEye game, looked pretty cool for what they were trying to do. It kind of seemed like Grand Theft Auto, but in Unreal 5. Now, is that going to be an open world game, or is that going to be more mission where you're kind of in these linear things? I'm not sure. But even to that weird little octopus game that was shown, it's like it seemed like they definitely tried to spread the field a little bit and show a little bit of everything. But I understand a lot of people are going to walk away from this one kind of disappointed because, there's no God of War remaster that was highly rumored, or of the Greek saga. The Ghost of Yote announcement not being there, and just kind of, a lot of small announcements that also aren't going to move the needle at all for a lot of people, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so it was. It's not the worst one I've ever seen. I thought the games looked pretty cool, but not a lot of tentpole things to hang your hat on.
Yeah, that was what I kind of told you when you had you had called me immediately when you had learned of Saros.
Yeah, so I went on Reddit, and so what's of course going to be the first thing I click on is going to be the big trailer from the show. So the first thing I saw was Saros, and it's not a lot. There's not a lot of times that I get like animated during trailers, but anytime you hear and see the PlayStation logo flash, you go, "What is this?" And then you see the graphics, and those, like, it's a cinematic, but like, okay, yep, that's like top tier Sony level shit. And I'm just going, who is this? What team is this? What is this? And then the verbiage that the guy kept using was we're going to start.
So we're just going to go right into the last announcement, huh?
Yeah, because I'm doing it right now. And who's making this? Who's making this? Who's making this? And then seeing who it was with Housemarque just sent me over the moon. I was like, this is, everybody knows Returnal. I refuse to remove from our top 10 list of PS5 games. I believe it's that good, and they keep just saying that this is an evolution of everything that game was. So my excitement for it can't let us leave this to the end of the podcast, Nick. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah, that's fine. We'll start with it. This is interesting because, the guy looked like he was out of Helldivers first, like he's just his garb. He looked like a Helldiver, but then when the monster came out of the water and it
cool
looked,
fucking monster,
and it looked like it was straight out of Returnal, and then when they show his pupil and you're seeing the bullet hell come through, you're just like, I knew there. I was like, Housemarque, are we actually getting a sequel to Returnal 2?
Mm-hmm.
Hype level of 10. But I do want to ask, because it's not Returnal 2.
No.
And I'm very excited regardless. It's Saros, Returnal 2, same thing for me. Why do you think that it's just not Returnal 2?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw a small little interview that said the people at Housemarque wanted Returnal to just exist on its own. They had like kind of nebulous statement like that. My guess is that they couldn't find any sort of like narrative reason to extend it. And Celine's story did feel rather complete, right?
Yeah.
So like to do Returnal 2 would probably have to be a separate planet, or you're going to have to rope in and tie into the story. So they probably just felt like, look, what are we as a studio? We're gameplay first. That's what Housemarque is, arcadey, fast, twitchy, and like they're starting to find their footing as a narrative studio. But I still think that, when they're probably talking about the things that they want to pursue, the gameplay systems that they want to evolve, they're probably just making sure that those check marks are going to get hit first. And so, let's just start a new IP, keep it fresh.
Still seems weird, right? Like he talks about dying and being reborn again. They talk about, levels kind of being just like in Returnal, like you every time you played the map, it wasn't the same. So it's kind of touching on all the key points about Returnal and what made Returnal great. It just seems weird that you don't want to build on strength of IP. Returnal, yeah. I know we champion Returnal, and I know Returnal's will be a forgettable game in the PS5's life cycle. It came out in that first 6 months, but it still seems like you would just it would be better served to do Returnal too. So I mean, again, we don't have much to go on. Maybe there's a big difference here. Maybe this is a first-person game or a top-down game or something.
Oh my god, first person? I hope not. It's just
or there's just a bigger leap here.
Yeah.
Other than just because it seemed like every tenant of Returnal was here.
Well, and like I do agree with that statement, but I think something that is important to note specifically about Housemarque is they have a history of kind of doing this, right? Dead Nation was one of their first bigger games that they made, and then they made Alien Nation, which in all shapes and forms is just a direct sequel, spiritual successor. But they probably just thought, like, why, I guess, do we want to keep making Dead Nation games, or can we maybe we'll just move on? We have the systems in place. We'll change the setting, keep it fresh, make it more colorful and less dreary. And maybe this one's gonna be a little bit brighter. Returnal's a very dark game. It's very moody, and maybe this will just be going a different direction. But yeah, I don't know. They just kind of they I think even with the Super Stardust games, they've kind of made a couple iterations of those. I don't know, but I don't really have a reason. I just think.
And we obviously on our last show did not predict them to do it again, but it seems to be. I mean, this is 3 in a row now. The cadence of ending on a Sony first-party game, it seems to be a formula they see internally for these things to be successful. But yeah, I mean, just from a Sony first-party, you're looking at Saros, Wolverine, Intergalactic, and Ghost of Yotei. Pretty good. That's a pretty good lineup you got going so far.
Yeah. And what I thought this game was when I was going, who is this? What is this? I thought it was Barlog's new game.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because just trying to look at it, when we first saw Intergalactic, right? We knew pretty quickly, that's Naughty Dog. You can. Right. There's something about it. And I was trying to look at the face of this guy. I was like, is that the Kratos face? But a little better.
Yeah.
And it seems spacey, and I know Barlog's working on that, but I couldn't be happier, man. I mean, as I continue to make my way through Hollow Knight still, and just recollect on the games that are hitting for me in this part of my life, it is the Neon Whites, the things that I just want to pick up and play as opposed to really sit down and immerse myself in. So I'm pumped.
Then get that Returnal Platinum, you bitch.
I know, I know. If I hate the RNG part of that, but don't think that I haven't thought about trying to do that sneakily.
Yeah.
And send you a shitty text message picture of a platinum.
Well, you got to reveal it on the show.
Yeah,
that's always the best. Live reaction.
I know. If I can get this Hollow Knight one, man, I'm just a quick update. I am on the 4th Pantheon. There's 5 Pantheons. The 5th one is the one. And the 4th one I got to the final boss of last night. So I'll get him. I'll get through it. And then I'm there. And then that's all I have to do. I have 111% out of 112. And we'll see. But this is turning out to be probably the hardest challenge of any game I've ever done. Probably.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, as my responsibility as host, we're going to reel it back in because John had to derail us by going on the announcement of the show. But my thoughts on the overall show is there was some positive. Lots of release dates. A lot of new unknown games got announced here, smaller titles especially, that looked really, really good. Shinobi and, like you said, the Octopus game, Darwin's Paradox, being the standouts there. But yeah, it just felt all over the place. It needed more. It just needed a game with more kick here. To really round it out. And I know Borderlands 4 is a big deal, but that just didn't do anything for me.
Do you think if there was a simple 30-second trailer after Saros of Yotei's release date that everybody's mood on this entire thing would have changed?
Probably.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
And yeah, we'll get into what's not here at the end here, but let's get into it. As mentioned, as we predicted, Monster Hunter Wilds was going to start things off here, coming February 28th. I don't think there's much more to be said.
No.
Known quantity out very soon.
And if you're looking for Nick and I to give you robust Monster Hunter details, I'm sorry, guys. That will not be from us.
No. But the next one is one of those new game announcements. Do you remember when Sega did that? We're bringing back all our old franchises, Golden Axe and
Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's been kind of quiet on that front. Well, here we finally are Shinobi Art of the Vengeance from Lizard Cube, coming August 28th. This has a phenomenal art style. This game looks awesome. Everything about it looks great. It is something about an art style that just instantly sucks me in, and is like, even though this type of game is usually not my jam, I'm like, it looks so pretty.
And something specific for me, at least, 2D art styles.
Yes.
2D art styles specifically can make me go immediately go, ooh, and lock in on it. 3D can too, but like, no, this one more so.
Do you have anything more?
No, I echo what
awesome.
you say. I mean, I think I love seeing these classic style side-scrolling games continue to innovate and figure out a way to stay relevant in modern tendencies, because there's a lot of people anecdotally or just whatever on the internet that just they want the biggest next big AAA release game, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's so much good if you just can look in the cracks, and like this will be one I think that a lot of people are going to miss. They're not going to check it out, but looks to be, as long as it plays well and runs well and all this stuff, it looks like it's going to be pretty sweet. And I'm kind of shocked that like we even got a release date on this yet. Like this, it's coming out August 28th. A little bit later in the year. It just doesn't seem like the kind of game that we would have gotten a trailer for now and then an actual release date that pushed that far out. So I don't know if Sega's really trying to like make sure the cadence of these things are like hitting or whatever their plans are. I don't know. But this one looks to be a good start for their...
That's the weird part of this show, is the release dates were all over the place. We got a lot of firm dates in this show, and this was one of them. I'm announced, and here I am.
Yeah.
This one, when you can play me.
Are you... seem pretty high on it, Nick. Is this day one for you, or like you
I
just
wish
wait?
listed it.
Okay.
It's already on the store, so I'll just keep an eye on it. We'll
picking
see
it up
where
in the
we'll see
fantasy
where we're at August
You
28th.
fantasy league in it, you little bitch.
No comment.
Okay, all right.
Next up, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, coming sometime this year. This is a Mario Kart style game. It looks exactly like Mario Kart.
It looks pretty
featuring
good.
Featuring the cast of Sonic. I don't know where the Cross Worlds is coming in. I don't know if there's going to be other Sega characters in here, or is it just
Maybe. I do know
referring to the worlds?
Well, in the trailer, there's a certain part where Shadow is driving down the course, and there seems to be two portals in front of him, and you can kind of like probably
okay.
it looks like one gets selected, and then that transforms the world.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's
exactly what it is. then.
Yeah. So, but it like I don't know. This was one of those trailers that I was like very not excited to open up, and I'm still not excited to play it, and I won't play it. But for what it is, it looks like a pretty highly polished version of a Mario Kart competitor. So
Yes.
I would keep my eye on this if these are the kind of games that you like. I mean, I personally think Crash Team Racing is the greatest kart racer of all time. Kicks the shit out of Mario Kart in my opinion.
All right.
And maybe if we can get another one of those, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Looks sweet.
Yeah, and
But-
the only unfortunate thing is it's the year where Mario Kart's coming out, so
Yeah.
they won't have
Well,
the
It wouldn't be the video
Nintendo.
game world if Sonic and Mario weren't trying to go head to head still.
right.
When will you learn, you blue idiot?
Yeah. Next up, we got a return of Digimon Story Time Stranger. Interesting title. Coming sometime this year. Not much to go on. Not much gameplay shown. But I know Digimon has its fans out there, so...
That's about all I can give you is the comments on this one were shockingly hyped.
Yep.
They were like, well, it's about time finally. So I guess there's a Digimon crew out
Our
there.
favorite YouTube personality, Kyle Bosman, is one of them.
Is he?
It was his -- trailer that he was hyped for.
Oh, he does always talk about Digimon, yeah. Yeah, so it looks very Japanese, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm wondering what direction they're going. Are they going to go... It almost seems like they're kind of going like Persona-y, where it's more like day-to-day, live your life, but you have these, weird little creatures that fight with you. So, but I don't know. I got not a lot of Digimon lore rattling around in my head.
All right. Next up, we've got another look at Lost Soul Aside from the China Hero Project, coming, unfortunately, May 30th, 2025, which is the same day as Elden Ring Night Rain, as we found out, not at this show, but the same day. So I would think maybe this gets moved, but I think this is the single developer game, right?
It is, and that's why I go, oh, man. Because, like, you spend your life... this is one of those ones, like 8 years in development at least. It's been a long time.
Yeah, and it looks incredible. It's not. It looks like a full AAA game.
Yeah, so to see that come out and have to go head to head with Elden Ring, I would if I were him, be reaching out to whoever I need to, be like, yo, like I will push it back. I don't care.
Right.
But that's also maybe he pushes it back into Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but it
looks
does
like Final Fantasy 16. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, the Souls is obviously the other comparison, but it's a third-person action game. But yeah, it looks bombastic like Final Fantasy 16 was, just like absurd moves.
You can tell
absurd
the locations are wild.
Yeah.
They make a decent point in this trailer to really showcase the different settings that you're seemingly going to be at. If I were to say one criticism of it, it looks a little too clean, which I know is weird to say, but and maybe you actually have a little bit of input on this, Nick. You recently saw the new Captain America movie, and one thing I've heard about that is while the action is incredible, it looks a little too clean at times.
Yes,
and there is something about that where, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it, but it is something that I noticed.
Yeah, you just know that there's a lot of green screening.
Yeah. And so it's
not a lot of practical sets.
So a lot of the designs of the backdrops and things, there are a lot of straight edges and all that, but I also am fully aware what single guy if you can make a game that plays well and this looks to play pretty well, then that stuff will fade into the background, no pun intended, and we'll be fine. So yeah.
We'll see more of that game for sure. All right. Up next, Like a Dragon Pirate Adventure in Hawaii is getting a demo. It is out now. You can check it out. Next up, Dave the Diver is getting more DLC. The characters from the Like a Dragon series are coming over, and it sounds like, I don't know if it's free or not, but Ichiban's Holiday. Just building on more Dave the Diver.
Well,
we got In the Jungle coming later this year too. And
Jesse, if you have not played Dave the Diver and you talk about Ichiban, you have to play Dave the Diver now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's weird that they're building Dave the Diver as a platform like they are, that it's getting so many, and we'll get into another game that's getting tons of DLC on top of it. That it seems like is just to keep it constantly in the mind's eye is just constantly release smaller DLC packs. How many collaborations has Dave the Diver had at this point?
Dude, so many.
Godzilla, Balatro.
Yeah, I have so many. I'm getting mad at myself.
The Potion game, Potion Keeper, or something like that.
Potion Craft.
Yep.
God,
it's stupid. Dredge. Yep. Yeah.
Where's Nier?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Just wait. But it's very cool that is it's getting that kind of support. Next up, WWE 2K25 coming March 14th. Again, known quantity. They're doing the Street Fighter 6 Hub World.
Hold on. Nick, you are a reformed wrestling fan now. Is there a world where I play some wrestling games?
I do like that Paul Heyman was in a State of Play. That is cool.
Who is Paul Heyman?
He's a promoter for wrestlers.
Would I recognize his face?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. He's been
sorta.
doing it for a very long time.
Okay.
But it's just a cool face to be in a State of Play. So not much to stay there. Up next, the big one, Borderlands 4. We got Randy Pitchford at the State of Play saying it's coming September 22nd. And that there will be and it's getting its own State of Play later this year. Ooh. Exclusive.
See, this is parts I missed by not watching the show. I didn't.
Yeah. The trailer isn't very long, about a minute. I mean, it's more Borderlands. That's all I can pretty much say about it. Yeah. Is it just? Are you the one who expressed the interest in this one?
I want it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I want it. I mean, so, I loved Borderlands 2. Borderlands 3 sucks for every reason that everybody always says it sucks, is the antagonist. But from a gameplay standpoint, it's still cool to me. What I really liked, I think, about the Borderlands 2 open world explicitly, and I've said this on the show before, and I thought about it more last night, is I do truly hate towns and cities in games. I hate them. I hate. I don't like how dense they tend to get. I gotta go up here. Oh, but that's on the 3rd level. Where's the staircase to get there? I hate that shit. And Borderlands always seems to be first and foremost it would just come in here and kill everything, get all the loot, and keep moving on. And I like that more from a moment-to-moment gameplay standpoint where I can pick it up for 45 minutes, an hour, and feel like I'm doing something, clearing out camps or whatever, as opposed to like I'm still in this town, I don't know where to go, and I don't want to talk to any more people. And so for that, like if it looks good, like the graphics, it does look.
It's a good trailer.
Like
it's fast.
I didn't
like
think
the
Borderlands
speed.
3 was going to look that much better than Borderlands 2, and it did. And I got the same thing with this one. I was like, it's not going to look that much better than Borderlands 3. And it's like, it's pretty crispy. So I will have my eye closely on this one. I don't know if it's a day one. I don't think it's a day one because I'd have to have a completely open schedule and all that good stuff. But I do find a lot of fun with the Borderlands systems. And, yeah, I don't know. I will always have a soft spot for this series, I think.
All right. Well, I do want to do a little aside here.
Okay.
Because the publisher of Borderlands is 2K.
Okay.
Who is also going to publish Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yep.
And the big, like we talked about, the big thing about this fall is where is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to land? And it's obviously not going to land September 22nd. It's not going to land around this game because 2K is not going to cannibalize Borderlands.
Yeah, this isn't EA we're talking about with Titanfall 2.
So that is interesting because that a lot of people thought, that's when we're going to see Grand Theft Auto 6, but not likely now.
Didn't they say on the Take-Two earnings call that Borderlands 4 is coming after?
Yeah, yes, they did.
So that's weird.
Yeah. So is there a chance we're getting Grand Theft Auto 6 sooner? In August?
I don't think so. Like maybe they're just.
I mean, it can release when it wants to.
It can release when it wants to. I don't know. I don't think July, August is a great time to release Grand Theft Auto.
It don't matter.
It doesn't. But like, if kids are going back into school and stuff, I don't know. I do think there's a little bit of calculus into that, and it does seem like a better October, November game. You get the Christmas sales again. Not that it's going to matter. We saw Grand Theft Auto 5 break 215 million units last week or whatever. So, but no, I don't think it comes before. And maybe it's just me being glass half empty guy all the time. It almost signals to me like they don't like
your prediction.
Like it's either going to be November or pushed is what this date tells me a little bit because. Yeah, you could release it after also, but like, I don't know. I'm not a businessman, Nick. I can't pretend to know how fiscal quarters and shit work, but it's just like, I don't know. I think you'd want to spread it out a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
Yeah, maybe they're hedging their bets. Maybe they're just like, okay, well, if it hits its date, then we have a crazy strong third quarter or whatever it is. If it gets pushed, then we have some of our basket here, and then we can move on to that later. I don't know. But there's probably honestly nothing to read into. I'm just overanalyzing.
And again, we'll know. But yeah, just interesting that it tells us a little bit about Grand Theft Auto. All right, next up is another trailer for Split Fiction. We've talked about it before. We've seen it many times, including just at the Game Awards. One of my kind of complaints about this show is how soon we've seen these games already. March 6th is coming, so we're right on the heels of that. I really don't have anything to add to it.
No, this was honestly one that like I opened and I was like, I don't even like. I'll play it when I play it.
Right.
Like I'm not pumped for it, but I'm not like, I don't know. I'll play when it's ready.
All right. Next up is the supermassive game, Directive 8020. The game starring Lashana Lynch. This is the developer that's done Until Dawn and The Quarry. We got a release date for this game, October 2nd, 2025. Good to release a horror game in October, John.
Always is. Yeah, and this is basically, it seems like the thing in
Yeah.
space. This is the thing in space, right?
I actually am kind of intrigued because of that premise.
I honestly was a hard skip until I read that sentence.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we'll see more. And, I've enjoyed, jumping into the supermassive games and then just, beat one playthrough.
Sometimes. Like, this is very much for me, like, I will wait for reviews.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
they're always that.
Yeah.
We didn't buy The Quarry, but we will played it.
It's true. You didn't buy The Quarry?
No. I think Pal of the Show will.
Will gave it to me and I gave it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Will.
Up next is another Five Nights at Freddy's game, Secret of the Mimic, coming June 13th. Unless you got something, John, we can move on.
No, I'm kind of waiting for some day where Levi's like, Dad, Five Nights at Freddy's. And I go, okay. All right, fine.
Up next, the Midnight Walk, a game we've seen in another state of play from Sony, coming from Moonhood. It has a release date, May 8th, 2025. May, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge month for video games. What are your thoughts, John? Is this enough to take a look? This is coming to PS5 and PSVR 2.
This one I'm very intrigued about. That statement alone, like if you're going to make a full-fledged video game that's both like flat screen and VR, the only examples I can think of is like Super Hot, and I that's about it. I think the Persistence does it also. So, there's a ton of creativity oozing throughout this entire project, from the way that the art style is, the very Nightmare Before Christmas, the stop motion type aspect of it, and it just looks kind of gross and weird in the best ways. But I don't know how it's gonna play, and that's, I'm sure people are sick of hearing me say. And it's like, it does seem like the type of game that put all of its eggs in the creative department's basket, and then like you look at the gameplay side of like programmers, and there's just like three guys like kind of just like looking real tired. But
Yeah,
I'm not,
it's hard to tell like how it plays.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would be much more interested, I think, to play it in VR than flat screen. But I applaud the developers for taking a very unique approach to an art style, and also I can't imagine this type of game is very easy to make. So always look forward to that stuff. But are we looking at a Harold Halibut 2? I don't know. Another game that just kind of comes out and it looks really unique, but you don't want to play it.
Right.
So
Right. Good point. Good point. All right, next up was the Darwin's Paradox, that game that we were talking about at the start of the show. This is a 2D platformer where you play an octopus and have to kind of escape out of looks like some kind of cannery of some kind. It looks very unique, looks very fun. Published by Konami, of all people.
Really?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But yeah, it looks good. It looks like it feels like a game if you're familiar with Inside, Limbo, games of that
Little
nature.
Nightmares.
Yep. Yeah, 2D action platformer. Looks good.
Developer by Z Dream Tim. That is, fix your name, guys.
All right, next up we got Warriors Abyss, a Vampire Survivors like using the Dynasty Warriors characters, and it's out now. You can play it, or you can purchase it right now. It was one of those kind of games, and if you're not familiar with Vampire Survivors, John, take it away.
Just endless amounts of enemies coming at you at all times, and dopamine upon dopamine upon dopamine of leveling up and getting skills stronger and just killing more and more things.
Yep, yeah, there you go. Perfect. So if you want to check it out, it's out now. Next up, we got Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. This was actually announced, I think, a week ago at a Capcom showcase. This is just a remake of the original Onimusha 2. This is coming May 23rd. Any interest, John?
No, if I had more time. I mean, I played. I'm pretty sure I played 1 and 2 back in the PS2 days, so it might be a little bit of nostalgia fun going back. But if I'm going to jump into Onimusha again, I'm going to probably go with what you're about to talk about.
Yes, because they led into another look at Onimusha Way of the Sword, hot off of its 2 month ago premiere at the Game Awards. I don't know why we're seeing another trailer like this, and it's, again, I don't think this needed to be here at all because it's a 2026 game, and we just saw it. And as John mentioned, I would rather see one of the other Capcom projects, RE9 or a remake of a Devil May Cry game or a Devil May Cry game at this point. But I don't know why they're pushing it so hard this early.
Yeah, I mean, we are still within the Capcom Renaissance period where they seemingly are able to bring a lot of their franchises forward and figure out a way to modernize them. So if they can keep that going, it makes sense. And this is I wouldn't say this is one of their top tier franchises, but it is definitely one that is known. But I'm in agreement. Like, I don't know. This is not the type of game that needs multiple trailers within a couple months span. You just kind of let people know it exists. The Onimusha fans are going to show up. I don't think that this is going to be anything that sells a ton of units.
Hey, Capcom's hot.
Capcom is hot for sure, but like I don't know about the amount of people that, unless if this is like a 91, a 92, and it lights the score, the review scores on fire. I don't see a lot of people being like, oh, I can't wait to check that out. It does look good. It looks a little slow from what I can remember. A lot of the combat, he's like almost like, I don't know, like slowly manipulating the enemy in a weird way. I don't know how to quite to describe it. And the tone is weird. Like there's that part of the trailer where he's like, you can
very
bring your,
silly.
Yeah, where you can bring your friends, and he goes nope, and then he starts running down the stairs, like almost like it's a Yakuza game. Which I don't remember that being a thing at all with the first ones. It's very demon focused.
Right. I mean, that first trailer was very violent and dark.
Yeah, so I wasn't quite sure what to make of that, but I do want to. I would like to play another Onimusha game. They're fun. They're very, from what I remember, just very Devil May Cry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's too early to tell.
Yep.
No, we'll see this game again. All right. Next up was Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. It got its release date. As we predicted, August 28th, you'll be able to jump in. John, what is your interest level here? Did you play MGS3?
I did not. Nope.
Ooh.
I have beaten 2 and 4. That makes sense, right?
No.
No, I know it doesn't. That makes no sense. And I don't know. I don't know because I don't like the way that the old games control. But
Good point.
this is remade. If they can quality of life it up and make the controls feel better and figure out ways to eliminate some of that. It's not jank, but you know exactly. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Then I'd check it out, but I don't know, man. Like, first off, I know Will's buying this 1,000%. You're probably buying this.
We'll see.
And so I can definitely borrow it from one of them. But it is one of those, like, anytime there's a game that's legendary that has the cachet that the Metal Gear Solid series does, the Mass Effect series does, I will forever feel a pull towards them,
Sure.
right? I still feel that pull towards Mass Effect and Red Dead. I don't know why. I've tried Red Dead 7 times. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to review well. It looks good. Konami has proven that they have what it takes again with bringing Silent Hill 2 to the finish line and having that be a solid product that got nominated for Game of the Year. I would think that they would take the same amount of respect with this project, if not more so. So
Yeah, it's a very
gonna be
important game.
yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that this is the start of them trying to remake the series in chronological order, or do you think this is just a
That would be cool.
one-off?
That would be cool because if you're going to 1 next, then I'm all in for
Yeah.
remaking 1. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, of course, if it sells well, you'll see something. There'll
Yeah.
be more Metal Gear, anything, whether or not a new title or not.
That will be such an interesting time in this on this podcast and in the industry if they go Metal Gear Solid 6 and Kojima's not involved. Like, that'll be such an interesting
It's
thing.
going to happen eventually
Yeah.
at some point for sure.
It'll be wild. That's like such a, like, you have to, God, that's going to be the most scrutinized game ever.
Right. We'll see how they do with this. They tease obviously an Ape Escape kind of mode to it, so I'm very curious as far as the extras are involved. Because I played this game. Like, you got to give me more reasons to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I rank Metal Gear Solid 3 on the lower end of the Metal Gear games personally.
Really? Mm-hmm. If you had to rank them, what?
1, 5, 4, 3, 2.
1, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay.
So.
Will, you did not hear that ranking. All right. These are not the
fine.
These are not the ranking. I know.
So we'll see.
Wait, sorry. Say 1, 5,
4.
4, 3, 2.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2. Okay.
So 1's above all, and then you count down.
Okay.
But we'll see. This again, a fall game, another fall game planting its flag. We'll just see what's released around it, and that will also influence whether it's a day one purchase.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we get another look at Hell Is Us, another game planting a flag in the fall, September 4th, 1 week after Metal Gear Solid Delta. This looks like a Kojima game. I'm not gonna lie from this trailer.
I don't know what the fuck to make of this game.
I could have sworn it was Death Stranding 2 at one point.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to tell. It's a third-person action game. You run around with a drone. I think the joke last time was like, make up your mind what game you are.
Yeah.
But it's like a puzzle game. It's got like horror elements. You have a sword with a drone. So yeah, it's touching on all kinds of areas.
There's a big, gross, cool-looking villain guy with a big old chin and a cool hat on.
Yeah, it's like the enemies and the art kind of reminds me of Returnal.
Yeah, there's definitely some
environments.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what to really make of it, but I guess, like I said, we'll know later this year.
Yeah, this is one of the games that I don't know what to make of it. I'm having a hard time looking at the trailer and thinking if it's going to be for me or not. There's moments where I go, this looks dope as hell, and then there's moments that kind of go like, oh, this is just going to be another one of those forgotten about games that gets released and we don't ever talk about again. But there's something about it, Nick. Something about it is giving me good vibes in my tummy. I don't know what it is, but I think this could be a surprise quality game that people, much like a Returnal that finds an audience with it, they champion it and they really, really want to push it on people, but then it's just not going to be for everybody. But I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Next up, some more DLC for Lies of P. It is titled Overture, and it's coming this summer. Looks to be pretty meaty, I bet.
Yeah.
So hopefully the fans show up.
2 years, man.
Yeah.
It's 2 years since release.
And you need the base game to play it. So, yeah, good on them, though.
I think it might be time. For Johnny Boy to check it out. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess if it gets a really good review, maybe that'll push John over the edge.
Well, and I've also recently realized that Will also owns this game physical. So when I get through Alan Wake 2 and return that, I'll probably grab that and,
All right.
never buy a game again.
Yeah, it's a good system. Moocher.
Yeah, I'm a really good moocher.
All right, next up, a game that's even more confusing than Hell Is Us, Dreams of Another, coming from Pixel Junk and Q Games. It's coming sometime this year. This is a third-person voxel shooter with a dreamlike look. It is very weird looking. I can't even describe it. You just have to look it up. It's a very bizarre game.
Yeah, it says it's a self-proclaimed game that turns the third-person shooter on its head to build rather than destroy. So it looks like, you're just shooting all these crazy areas that is just a bunch of blobs together, and then you shoot it, and then it forms something. And then it reminded me, Dick, did you ever play The Unfinished Swan? Or do you know of it?
Sounds familiar, but
I think it was the game that was made by Giant Squid. They made a couple games after that we definitely know of. But it was a game where you start it and you're basically just in a white world and you have black paint that you can throw, and then it'll just start hitting things, and then it slowly starts to form the world, and you can kind of move through it and whatnot. So it kind of gave me that a little bit, where it looks to be primarily a puzzle game. But
Giant Squid did the Pathless, yeah.
The Pathless, okay. Or Giant Sparrow. Yeah, Giant Sparrow. That's what that's the team. So Giant Sparrow made Unfinished Swan, who also made What Remains of Edith Finch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there it is. But I don't know. It's I don't know. It'll be cool. Pixel Junk games are always just kind of like, yeah, there they are.
Yeah, they always have a cool
some
idea.
Some are good, some are not.
Yep.
This next one, though. This next one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, baby. All right, we got another Sony first-party remaster, and it's Bloodborne, right? It has to be Bloodborne this time.
That even hurt. That hurt me a little bit right there.
No, and I believe we talked about this one because it was rumored, and I can't fucking believe it that we're getting a Days Gone remaster coming April 25th of this year. Fuck off, Sony. 2 middle fingers in the air. Like, fuck off. I cannot believe this game is getting a fucking remaster.
Right.
Who asked for this?
Nobody. I mean, especially after, they seemingly shot down the creator of it to make a sequel. Seemed like it was a franchise that they just kind of wanted to move on from. So I'm not quite sure the reasoning. I mean, they in the trailer, they talked about, like, we have this new horde mode and all this new stuff. And that's cool and all, but, like, I don't think it's any crazy statement to say that this was the weakest first-party game of the PS4 generation. I think that's probably pretty safe to say. And in fairness, it was a very strong generation. It's what cemented Sony
Was
where
The
they are.
Order a PS4 game? 1886?
Yeah. Good call. Yeah, that was like very, very
So-
early on.
It's got one game competition.
But that wasn't even first party. That was second party. So
Yeah.
I mean, that was Ready at Dawn that made that. So
Right.
from a first party team, arguably the worst one. Now, what I will say in one sense that makes this make a little bit of sense, just a little bit, is it did famously come out horribly performance wise when it was released.
Right.
So now you can, I'm sure they probably. They wanted the Horde thing to be the big fucking thing, and whether it was stuttery or I've also heard it was just way too far into the end of that game to even when you got there to like it matter. There could be a world where it's like, look, it runs at 60 now, it's clean, it's what we want it to be. Go check it out. Maybe it's not so bad. Because I did hear that I think it was like a 76 on OpenCritic. Like if it was in a good stable setting, it probably would have been more like an 83-ish, something like that. And that's okay territory, but I don't know, man. It's just another example of games are so expensive now that there needs to be these other ways that company like Bend needs money, right? Like
Right.
Bend hasn't released shit in forever, and so like, okay, well, if
Right.
you can remaster this for us, it'll get you a little bit of capital and allow you to keep working on whatever it is you are working on.
Right.
So
And it's just a $10 upgrade if you already own Days Gone. But yeah, I'm a person who's never played it and it still has no interest. So
yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
biker gangs are not the coolest to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up, Stellar Blade is getting more DLC, joining forces with Goddess of Victory Nikke. This will coincide with its PC release, but it will be also coming to PlayStation 5 this June.
Me.
Next up, we got Blueprints from Raw Fury. This looks to be a first-person puzzle game, and where you go into a bunch of different puzzle rooms. Maybe it's just one giant escape room.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to go through a manner that's kind of changing. And yeah, this is from Raw Fury and coming this spring.
I think the people that are into these kind of games, this looks really cool. It's definitely not something I want to play. I like the art style. I think it is definitely a cool setup where it's like you almost seem to be the one building the house.
Yeah, you
And,
can install things.
Yeah, and so it looks very well thought out. Each room seems to have a very unique look to it and style. I don't know. I could see this being how like The Witness came out and people loved it for
Right.
the people who loved it, but
Right.
like I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks cool though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a game that is on PC in early access right now, but is coming to console this summer. That's Abiotic Factor from Deep Field Games. I don't know much about this. Like I said, it's already out on PC, so there's plenty of footage out there.
The characters move around like Legos.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it's got
Doesn't
definitely
look
has
like
an
my jam.
old school art style. Looks multiplayer focused. Not my thing either. Let's move on.
All right. Next up, we got Tides of Annihilation. This game is kind of out of nowhere. Coming from Eclipse Glow Games. No release date for this. This is just kind of giving us a look at it. I don't know what vibe to take from it. It has Stellar Blade in it. Like it feels like Stellar Blade. I mean, even like the companion character is a young female that could have been.
Dude, listen to this sentence. When the streets of London are engulfed by an outworld invasion, the only survivor, Gwendolyn, discovers it's very Stellar Blade. Very Stellar Blade.
Yeah, it takes place in London, a big like Knights of the Round Table vibe, which is cool. It looks good for a game to just come out of nowhere. I mean, she's like, there's platforming, third person action, giant bosses. Yeah, like I said, it looks like Stellar Blade. It
She's
really
very
does.
pretty.
Yeah, she's very attractive. Probably will have the same. The next trailer will be all the different costumes.
Yeah.
Like Stellar Blade. But yeah, it kind of looks cool. Again, another kind of game that kind of has Final Fantasy 16 vibes because she like summons other beings when she uses attacks, like out of her gauntlet.
I know you haven't really played a lot of it, but it is very like if there's two games that this reminds me of, it's Stellar Blade and it's Nier Automata.
Of course.
Not just from like the hot protagonist standpoint, but like there's moments where like the camera shifts tremendously where she's almost like side scrolling
Yes.
up like this big
Yes, that
tower.
is a good point.
The big hulking creatures is also very like it's. I think a lot of times, that teams go out and they start to make a game, right? They're going to look for inspiration in other places, and like just this genre of third-person sword-wielding action games, it's Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Nier Automata. Those are the three that they look at, and Stellar Blade seemingly is maybe going to start working its way into there, but you can tell that this has a ton of inspiration from that. But one thing that I think does look extra maybe separate a little bit is the boss fights seem way more involved, almost like they are Souls-esque. And I know that seems like it's a lame statement in this day and age, but like where it seems very focused on learning the enemy movesets. It's very quick. I'm not sure how the punishment is going to be like if you lose all your health really quickly, but I think that this has potential for sure. I will be keeping my eye on it.
Okay.
Especially if those costumes look pretty good.
Of course. Up next, we got Metal Eden from Rycon Games. This game is coming May 6th. This looks to be a first-person roguelike. There seems to be hints in the trailer of dying and then dying again and keep going through it and being rebuilt and redeployed. So that's interesting. The gameplay looks fast. It looks like wall running. It
looks like Ghost Runner with guns. Is kind of what I get.
Point.
Yeah.
That's probably an excellent point. That's probably pretty close to what it is, but
right.
Looks cool. Looks to be coming soon. I thought for a minute this was Marathon.
Oh yeah,
because it has that kind of Destiny feel.
Yeah,
but it is not. And like I said, another game that just I'm here and I'm coming out soon. Hi,
sure.
Hi.
It'll probably be 8 out of 10. Play me if you like me kind of game.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, this is the last game we're going to talk about since John and I couldn't.
Well, we can revisit it. I mean, we can revisit it. I'll talk about it again.
Next up is the reveal trailer for MindsEye, a game from Build a Rocket Boy being published by IO Interactive.
When their developer name came on screen, I was like, what are you telling me to do? What? Build a Rocket Boy.
And this seems, I think the premise here is this is ex-Rockstar devs building a cyberpunk open world third person game, and that's kind of what we see here. I mean, we do get a lot of story bits, but when they show the gameplay, it's a third person shooter with Grand Theft Auto style driving. There's a lot of open world driving we're seeing.
And that's my biggest question here is this a fleshed out open world, or is this like, hey, your mission is to go from point A to point B, get in your car and go?
Yeah.
And like, or is it like, this is probably a pretty bad example because I didn't even play it and I don't know if a lot of people did, but there was that VR game that was like this, like the London Heist or something, where it was very much like, no, Blood and Truth, that's the game, Blood and Truth, where it's like you're going on these big set piece things, but it's like you're in the car, this is the level is the car ride on the freeway, and like, is this going to be open world? If it is, I think this could be a big one. If not, I don't know, because it did seem very narrow-sighted with the things that were happening in the trailer. Just a lot exploding car after exploding car after exploding car after exploding car, cover. So like, is it the GPU that allows like the game to be doing a ton of things at one time, like what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Or like Skyrim. Like I wonder if there's going to be a lot of things happening, or it's just like whatever is on the screen, that is it. Because like we focus all of our time and resources on graphics and making it seem authentic. I don't know, but it looks better than it should, though.
Yeah, and they in their description they don't mention it as an open world game, so that is an interesting point. But it is, yeah, they're saying from legendary director Leslie Benzies, and you're like, who the fuck is that?
Right.
And it's he has been at Rockstar. He has worked on every Grand Theft Auto game from 3 to 5. So, but he hasn't worked at Rockstar since 2016.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, he has the pedigree if he was a
a
lead developer on those games.
Yeah, I just like if I saw any moment in that trailer where he's like walking around in a town or like a city or something, I'd be like, okay, cool. But I don't know. It just seemed like it felt like they were trying not to tell me something.
Yeah, and there is no release date for this, so this could be like, hey, we're just trying to build up excitement for the game, and then we'll see more of the actual game. But yeah, I didn't know what to think about this one. And again, as these games will probably be, if someone comes up to me and goes, "Oh yeah, MindsEye," I'll be like, "I don't remember what that is."
Right.
Oh, Tides of Annihilation. I don't remember what that is.
Yeah.
That's
sometimes names just escape you.
kind of the theme of this is like Warriors Abyss. I'm like, oh, which one is that? Oh, that's the
Saros though. That sticks out.
That's because of the developer and the pedigree there.
No.
It's not a great name either. But yeah, there we go. That was the entire show. I didn't get into our Twitter poll, John.
Go for it.
Our Twitter poll was at a 80% D, 11% C, 9% B,
No
0% A.
Yeah. If I were to grade it, I'd probably give it a C+. Would probably be where I'd be.
Of course you would.
Why?
C.5, huh?
C.5. Yeah, damn it, I should have said that. That was a great joke. Yeah, somewhere, yeah, C++. Like I said, I think the games that were shown were things I'd be excited to play, but like Tides of Annihilation is not going to get a lot of retweets, even Saros, even Housemark, even Returnal. These are names that don't really, outside of the core UNIs of this world, rattle a lot of feathers.
And it's hard to get excited about a lot of unknowns, a lot of games we don't know about. They're their first game, and I'm excited that they get this stage here. But I mean, what is a proven game here is just Borderlands and Split Fiction, and but everything else is pretty much an unknown and wait for review game. So when you're talking about getting excited for the PlayStation platform, just can't.
That's okay. Xbox has our back.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fine, Nick.
That's true.
It doesn't matter anymore, my man. We're good.
Yeah. And again, I was going to ask you, like, games not shown here. It would have been nice to know when Death Stranding's coming, when
luckily with Death
coming.
Stranding, I mean, I'm sure you saw this, but there is some sort of March event with PlayStation and Death Stranding. So I think March 9th is the date. I bet we'll get all the info we need.
Right. So
but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like it's getting to the point where it's like what's up with Wolverine? Like, I know that there has been some behind
next year.
Yeah. But I know that I think their creative director left, and so like that's never that big of a deal. I don't think it's just something that makes noteworthy. But it's like, I don't know. When was that game announced? 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
So it's like we heard about Barlog
State of Play before the 2023 one. So I think that was 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just like, I think the communication gets a little weird. They're never going to tell us exactly what they want to, but for a while it was just like, okay, we're going to give you guys release dates or windows that are years off in advance, and then as an industry we all kind of went like, yeah, but that sucks, like we hate waiting for these things. And then Cyberpunk happened, and other botched Suicide Squads happened, and then we're keeping the release dates close to the chest. But then you get the Wolverines that happen, and maybe it's just everything attached to Marvel, right? Maybe Marvel, because the other one is the Black Panther game, the Captain America game.
Yeah, those are all
where they're all
way in advance,
right? And that's how Marvel likes to do their things, right? Like, these are our roadmaps. This is how we do it. So maybe that's the reason, but it's just. It's a weird cadence of things, of getting Intergalactic when not knowing when Wolverine's going to come yet, and then getting Saros when Yote is still on the cusp. It's like you guys went years without telling us any first party things, then all of a sudden it seems like I don't know. Cadence is weird, but it's also got to be incredibly hard to manage 20 teams, portfolios. So.
Well, I mean, again, they just, as long as they keep a stated cadence of first-party games, if this year is Death Stranding 2 and Ghost, and then next year is Saros, Intergalactic, and Wolverine, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I understand people's frustration with this show. It was mediocre, and I
wonder
people get excited for Sony.
Do you think there's a lot of? I wonder, if Sony was like, "Hey, Supergiant, you want to show off Hades 2 release date?" And they're like, "No, Nintendo Direct, bitch." And then they just kind of shut the door. And then other people are just like, "No, Switch 2 announcement. We're going to be there for that one because everyone's ready." Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people watch this, but that it'll pale in comparison to what April 2nd will bring. And again, that'll probably be. I had this thought in my head. I'm like, Nintendo Switch 2. You know what it benefits the most from? That the Xbox Series S exists. Because it gets developers so much more closer to developing for that platform. If you start seeing Baldur's Gate 3 on there and other titles,
You will, yeah. I mean, that's we said the secret sauce of that thing is just the ports, man. You can play. I can play Elden Ring. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it'll be the PlayStation, but with the Nintendo first party titles instead. And I mean,
I'm here for that world, man. A portable Nintendo that plays all my other things, and then PlayStation when I want to sit down. And I'm here for that world. So
yeah. So, I'm with you. A C show, just
see, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. My prediction this year that they're gonna have a showcase. I don't know anymore.
I don't know, man. If they'll ever do those.
If we're getting another state of play, I mean the dedicated state of plays I guess don't count for Borderlands. So I don't know. There's still a chance May is a Sony showcase. But we'll see.
They save all that for the times they announce consoles. We get one of those big boys every 7 years.
Yeah. So. All right.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So
how's your tummy after all those hot ones? Was it good?
It's a rumbling, but we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's good. All right. Let's tease some things. Obviously, the state of play interrupted our teases from the week before. So on my end, High on Life. Got to talk about that.
Okay.
Played it and completed it.
Cool.
We have an email to read from Jesse. He's going to update us on his opinion on Yakuza Like a Dragon, amongst other things. Mm-hmm. And, I am in position for the first step to getting a PS5 Pro. I will have a TV very soon.
Did you order one?
No, not yet.
Oh, all right.
But I just a little backstory. I have a gaming room / office, and I removed the TV from there, which was the big hurdle because it got stuck. The strings broke. So I had a bitch getting it off.
How did you do it?
65-inch? I don't know. Magic. And a very long screwdriver. And
Okay.
I don't know if you saw me leaving one day with the long screwdriver and the rubber hammer.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
that
about.
that was for that. So, but I got it off. So and it didn't break, and it's working. So it's ready. It's ready for that new TV to be there.
That'll be a big day. You should line that up with some. Well,
yeah, maybe we'll talk about it next show. We'll talk about list of games to show off. An OLED 4K.
And your Pro, if you have that. I mean, you should probably dabble in Rebirth for a little bit.
But yeah, that's exciting stuff.
Cool, man.
But what do you got? What teases you got?
Yeah, I'm just
hopefully a platinum.
I mean, dude, I don't know. Like my philosophy with this game is I've been doing one Pantheon a night and I complete it and I go cool, good. And so if I can get through the fourth one. If I can get through the fourth one by the end of this weekend, I'll feel good, and then I can just I don't want to just sit down and do the Pantheon until it's done. I feel like I will lose my mind, but I also in the very same breath cannot get this game out of my head until that's done. I am I'm halfway through chapter 2 of Alan Wake. And I loved chapter 1. I loved how that wrapped up. I thought the vibes and the game direction and creative direction, all of it's great. But I still can't just get those dumb Hollow Knight bosses out of my field of vision. So I don't know how I'll do with that one, but I will also be jumping probably into Alan Wake 2 this weekend some more.
Perfect. Yeah. We got some things
to
bring. All right. So we can move on to the song of the show. We didn't get a Ghost of Yotei release date, but so we'll just play The Way of the Ghost from Ghost of Tsushima by Ilan Ashkiri.
Elon.
Okay. I-L-A-N.
Elon.
Enjoy the song. I just get hyped. I mean, Sony still says it's coming this year, so...
What was the other game that they said? There's 2 games.
Death Stranding.
Yeah. Okay.
So they say those are still coming this year. So who knows when? Hopefully earlier than later. But we'll see. This year will still be very good in video games. Just want those games to be out now.
I don't know. You are really jonesing for that Ghost, man. It's good.
Well, any game. I just want a game I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till the end of April and it's Expedition 33. I need a game before that. So
is that the next one? That's
pretty much.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, because Doom's in May, Indie's in May.
Yep. So we'll see.
Okay.
But until then, we have this podcast. Talking about video games is fine too. So write in. Let us know what you're playing. Again, betweenthechoices@gmail.com. Just let us know. We love you. We love all our listeners.
And if you have something horrible to say about me, let us know, please.
We're gonna. That's our 2025 #1 goal. Get someone to bitch out John.
It's gonna crush me emotionally. It's just gonna be somebody that's just, man, the way you pronounce certain words, just
Yeah, go after your vocabulary.
just make it real personal.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You got it.
Please do it.
All right. Again, we thank you for listening. We love all you listeners. And of course, we will be back next week with a normal show. Up to 6 things to talk about. And we'll see you then.
Bye.
真実となるはいつの日ぞ。